Hello, good night, or good morning, or whatever time you're watching this. I'm finally back with another review. Yes, I look totally different because last 2 weeks I was getting ready to leave North Carolina. I was getting my hair done, all these type of things. So again, this is another video where 2 episodes will be squashed into one. I'm praying that I don't make this one too long, but I want to make it as informative and yeah, as fun as possible as I usually try to make my videos and stuff like that. I need to stop saying and stuff like that. People say I say that a lot. It's just one of those habits that I have. And the hair I have is model. It's crochet braids. I just left the front piece out so I could sweep my own hair over it, which I think is way cuter than having just the crochet. I think it looks a little bit more natural. So yeah, and yeah, makeup done by me. I don't know if I'm ever gonna post a makeup video here. I'm really self-conscious about my makeup and how I look at my makeup, but maybe one day I get the confidence to put one out for you guys to see. So let's get right into the episodes. Are the one episodes for those of you who've forgotten about what I do here. I review Are You the One, the show that comes on MTV every Wednesday, 10 o'clock, 9 Central. Yeah. So let's get into it. This review is gonna be a compilation of episodes 8 and 9, and I just want to start out talking about episode 8 first, of course, and like some of the stuff that I saw in episode 8. So episode 8 began with, you know, the continuation of the Quasi and the Cam fight, which I thought was pretty unnecessary. I just didn't understand why it was happening. Like, Quasi shouldn't have even been saying any of those stuff about Kayla, about build her up, nurture her up for me, Cam, so I can just come in and swoop in and take her for myself. Like, that was kind of corny. So at that point, I didn't even think that Quasi really liked Kayla. I just thought, this is just something sexual. So yeah, I really liked how much Cam was sticking up for Kayla. Like, I really admired that. I thought that was something that, like, I saw Brett did for Nutsa last week, when Nutsa was kind of like, well, Brett did it for Nutsa at a matchup ceremony, which I'm gonna talk about later on in this episode review. After the whole Cam and Kayla fiasco, they cut to Lewis and Asia in bed, and there was the scene where Asia was talking about, you know, Lewis sleeps with me every night, Lewis does this with me, Lewis does that with me, and I'm like, none of that really matters. Somebody can sleep beside you and they have no feelings for you, they're not attracted to you at all. So Asia, don't let that be your defining factor for somebody liking you, because I don't think Lewis liked you at all. Not from the jump, not from the beginning. He didn't seem sexually attracted to you. He didn't seem emotionally attracted to you. You guys just seemed like best friends. Are You the One has this weird way of putting people that don't really get a lot of screen time together in one shot. So Lauren and Mo were in one shot together, and I just thought that was so funny because you hardly ever see them together on the screen. So Terrence comes in and they're supposed to do the dates with the fate button. So what happens is the fate button picks the guys, and then they're allowed to pick the girls themselves, which I think is really cool. So Brett picked Callie, which I think was a smart choice. Everybody else in the house was like, no, Callie's with Tomas, let them stay together. I'm like, no, let Brett pick Callie. They were a strong match in the beginning. Even though they had a falling out, they were still a strong match, no matter what. So let him pick Callie, and Mo picked Kayla. He did, which is a cute match, but I mean, Mo, I love you, but you do need to come out of your shell a little bit more and talk to more people in the house. I saw you made a connection with Asia. You've been picking Jasmine a lot. I hope you've been talking to these girls and getting to know them and starting to build, you know, some type of relationship with them. So the day they went on, Kayla was obsessed with the dolphins, and she and Brett got to know each other. I mean, Kayla and Mo got to know each other, but Kayla seemed still interested in Cam. you know, and Brett and Callie were there trying to figure out if they're still a match, you know, and see if they still had feelings for each other. And Brett was talking about Tomas being too young, being 22, and Brett, age is nothing. Love doesn't discriminate age, color, nothing at all. Love doesn't care who you are, where you are. If you're supposed to fall in love with somebody, wait, hold on, let me scratch that. Consenting adults, okay? Consenting adults that can consent to a relationship, you know? Callie is a consenting adult. Tomas is a consenting adult. So they can be in a relationship together. It doesn't matter how young or how old he is. Jasmine, I don't think that Callie and Brett were a waste of a truth booth. That knocks one person off Callie's list, and that knocks one person off Brett's list. Brett can stop worrying about Callie, and Callie can stop worrying about, is Brett my match? So I don't think it was a waste. I get why you say that, but I really don't think it was a waste. As it turns out, Callie and Brett were no match, and Callie came back in the house pretty upset because she felt sad for Brett. You know, people were questioning why Callie was mad, and I'm just like, she's an emotional person, and she had feelings for Brett at one moment, so she got how he felt. She understands how he felt at the time. So one big thing that happened in this episode was the fact that Louis picked Lauren instead of Asia, and we all remember that date that Louis went on with Lauren, and they were falling off horses and all type of stuff. It was just crazy. So I get why he would pick her. They seem to have a little bit of chemistry, but I do not know why in God's green, beautiful earth that Asia did not pick up that Louis does not like her. Stevie Wonder could have seen that Louis did not like her like that. I don't know why people in the house were pretending like they were a match. They weren't. To me, they might be a match on paper, but Louis is not attracted to Asia at all. So that's just the truth. And Louis expressed that he just did not like the way Asia was acting in the house. Like, he just did not like the way Asia was acting when Bria found out that Zach wasn't a match, and Asia thought that Nutsa and Morgan and Jasmine were acting weird. And I'm just like, Louis was looking at that, and he just said he was just turned off by it completely. So I mean, the guy has a right to choose who he wants to choose, Asia, and you can't be mad at that. So Mo ends up picking Asia instead, you know. And Kenya, it's not a missed opportunity if Louis doesn't go after Asia, if Louis does not like Asia. It's not a missed opportunity. Why are you trying to force two people together that don't want to be together? And at the end of the episode, Louis started to finally tell Asia the truth. At the end of episode 8, he finally started to tell her the truth, which I will roll over to in episode 9 review, which is coming in right now. So episode 9 started out with basically Louis telling Asia, basically, I'm not attracted to you. I don't like you in that way. I understand why she's mad. It's been so long and you've been sleeping beside of me. You couldn't just tell me the truth. You couldn't just tell me that you weren't physically attracted to me at all. In the matchup ceremony, he was talking about, I wasn't attracted to her in a sexual way. I didn't want to kiss her. I didn't want to touch her. I just didn't want to do it. And Asia was getting upset. She thought that it was a disrespect thing. She thought he was calling her ugly and all type of stuff. No, if somebody's not attracted to you, they don't find you ugly. They're just not attracted to you. And that's just the bottom line. That's just it. It's nothing more, it's nothing less. So, yeah. Saying in my opinion, Tomas and Callie don't match. In my head, they don't match. And maybe if they are a match, I'm gonna be surprised, but I think somebody else is Callie's match. It might be Tomas. I don't know. To me, is my honest opinion, they don't look like a match to me. And also, in my opinion, I thought that Nutsa was forcing the whole Brett thing a little bit. Like, she was, I think she was forcing it. I don't really think Brett liked her that well. Of course, the Bria and Zach triangle continues. Bria sees Zach with Morgan. She thinks that he's completely bored and says she's gonna stir the pot. How does Bria stir the pot exactly? In the dates chosen by the fate button, the fate button picks Bria and Zach and Nutsa and Brett. Why is Bria going on another date with Zach? And why did the house allow this to happen? They just allowed Bria to manipulate the fact that, oh, Nutsa and Zach might be a match, so I think them should go, but me and Brett might be a match too. Like, it didn't make no sense to me. Like, she just manipulated that whole thing. And of course, when they went out on the date, of course they kissed. Of course they were together. Of course they talked. He was just being completely disrespectful of Morgan. He didn't care what was going on back in that house. He didn't care. He wasn't trying to be a match with Nutsa. He didn't care about Nutsa. All he cared about is Bria. And I think Zach and Bria are in love. I just think they're destined to be together, honestly. They're going to be married outside the house. They're going to have kids outside the house. So it's a done deal. I'm sorry for whoever Zach's match is, but you're not going to be in a relationship as long as Bria is alive and breathing well. That's just my honest opinion. And Brett, you were being very manipulative and conniving. You were telling everybody in the house not to put you in the truth booth with Nutsa because you didn't want to leave the house yet. You don't even like her that much. She gave you head and that was it. Like, why would you even do that? If you don't like the girl, why didn't you tell her? That didn't make no sense to me. And I just didn't understand why Morgan was worried about Zach and Bria being on a date. At this point in time, girl, you should realize that that's your man. That's not your man. That will never be your man. Zach belongs to Bria at this point in time. If you don't want to see that, you just don't want to see it. You're blind. That's your problem. Brett was lying out the side of his mouth. Brett was saying that, no, I have feelings for Nutsa. I want to talk to Nutsa. I find Nutsa attractive. I like Nutsa. But was telling people not to put them in the truth booth. Which one is it? Do you like her or no? Do you want to get out of this house and have a relationship with her or no? It didn't make any sense to me why he kept lying. And Quasi cussed them out for it. Sometimes Quasi makes sense and sometimes he doesn't make sense. But this time he did. He's like, Brett, stop lying. Stop talking shit. All you want to do is stay in this house. All you want to do is not find your match. You're going to mess up the money for everybody. What are you doing? Like, that was the truth. The strategy did not work that Callie put together with switching. Well, I don't know if it worked because we won't see until Monday. I mean, we won't see until Wednesday if the strategy works. But I don't know if they're going to find something out or not. So I'm hoping to see what goes on. When Zach was confronted about anything happening with him and Bria on the date, I felt so bad for Morgan. Actually, I didn't feel bad for her. Because she should have seen this coming. She should have been seen this coming. Like, what are you doing, sis? Like, what are you doing? You should have seen this coming. Like, Zach doesn't want you. He wants Bria. Every time he goes on a date with Bria, he kisses Bria. He's with Bria. He's talking to Bria. She could have easily manipulated and came back into his relationship like that. She told you you would never have the one up on her. And that's what happened. You're never going to have the one up on her. Zach's not your man, sis. That's Bria's man. So, the episodes didn't have that much to me to talk about. Major thing was Louis told Asia, I don't like you that much. Zach went back to Bria. Brett don't like Nutsa, but he's pretending to like Nutsa. Tomas and Callie might be a match, might not be a match. Cam and Kayla still together for how long, I don't know. And the rest of the people are in limbo. Tevin and Kayla, I don't know what's gonna happen with that relationship. Well, we don't know. This show is a crazy ass show and I just can't wait to see how it ends. I love it and I hate it at the same time. So that's the end of my review. I took way too long to do this review, but I just wanted to get a lot of things set in order. I wanted to get my hair done. I wanted to come level-headed and free, have my time free enough to do proper review. So thanks for everybody that has been waiting patiently for the reviews. I haven't stopped doing them. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep doing them. It's very tedious. I didn't know how much work this was. Shout out to all the YouTubers. This is a real job. It's very stressing to sit down in front of a camera and talk and try to figure out what to say, all that editing, trying to figure out how to look, what to talk about, all of that. Repeating yourself, saying certain phrases wrong, looking at the camera weird. Like, at this point I don't care. All my hand gestures, whatever. So that's the end of my review. I'll try to do a review right after the episode on Wednesday, so I won't forget, so I don't do another double review. But thank you so much for watching, and have a good night, have a good morning, wherever in the world you are, whatever time you're watching this. Goodbye.